Hello guys, Vizarsh here bringing you another Total War Warhammer replay with commentary. For today's battle we have the forces of Dawi, who are being led by the Dwarf Lord with his really strong item. Let's see here, it's a shield. Yeah, it's probably, no, never mind, it's an armor I think. Yeah, which gives minus 10 melee attack in an AoE, which is really nice. And we're going against the Bretonnians, who have some schemes in mind, which was kind of annoying, not gonna lie. So let's just talk about the armies, and I'm just gonna start a battle. It's gonna take a long time for the armies to meet. So for my front line, I have 2 units of miners. We have 4 units of regular dwarf warriors and 2 dwarf warriors with great weapons. We have 3 thunders, really strong units, and 2 giant slayers, another strong anti-large unit. For artillery, I have decided to bring an organ gun, which was a mistake in hindsight. As you guys will see in a moment, my opponent has the range advantage. We have 2 master engineers, my favorite heroes in the dwarf roster. They have both flash bomb, fire ring of Thori, and restock. And I already talked about my general. For my opponent, we have 5 units of peasant mob who are in the front line trying to hold my advance, which I have to do because, as I said, my opponent has the advantage already shooting at my organ gun, which is pretty scary. So for the secondary line, I'm seeing 5 units of foot squares, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, never mind, 4, and 1 battle pilgrim, which is a good pick. These guys are decently fast. I mean, they're kind of slow. They don't have a lot of armor, and I don't know what's going on here. I thought they had more speed. So the front line have already been broken. My opponent's knights moving into position. He has 3 questing knights, which are gonna be annoying, especially now that I have to move forward and lose my formation a bit, which means I'm gonna get charged a bit. We have a caster here with Earthblood, Shield of Thorns, Power Stone, and Life Loom. My infantry are not gonna have a hard time getting into the back line, but the scary part is after that, which my opponent is gonna put a lot of pressure into my back line. And without my back line and with these knights, these guys are gonna cause a lot of problems. So the secondary lines meet, my opponent's secondary line is meeting my front line, which we're probably gonna lose. My opponent also has a paladin and Rapunzel. Where is she? She's hiding around here probably. Yeah, she's here. Let's see what items she decided to bring. She has her Halo of Maidenly Wrath and Fleur de Lis banner, which is a really strong item as well, counteracting my Dwarf Lord's item here. But this is not a good situation. My Dwarf Lord is really isolated. I should have kept him in the back. Now he's gonna get surrounded by Rapons and a lot of anti-infantry and armor-piercing units, and he's probably not gonna live long. For the backlines, we were able to do a decent amount of damage to these questing knights, but we took some damage in return. Here, I'm keeping my engineers back, trying to hold these knights from doing whatever they want here. I'm using my flash bombs, shooting them, trying to move my range units away from each other. Now we have a conclave here. If these guys attack my this thunder, the other ones are shooting, which is pretty nice. We're dealing with questing knights. One of them already 2 damage, 10 models, and I have no way of finishing them off, which is scary, but not else I can do. I just have to deal with this many units here. But fortunately, giant slayers are pretty fast. We're dealing with another unit of questing knights. Let's slow down a bit and take a look at the battlefield. We were able to deal with the trebuchets, fortunately, so not a lot of artillery firepower from my opponent. I'm trying to finish the last one off here. And yeah, even though my Dwarf Lord has not taken substantial amount of damage, I mean, he has taken some damage for sure, but I think he's gonna get escorted by some peasant mob off the battlefield, which is not ideal at all. But as my front line buckles, these foot squares are moving in, and these guys are pretty scary. I have to kite a lot to sorry about that, to be able to deal with them. The fire ring going down, it missed for most part, but I don't know what to do. I have to just try to move and scoot, go for targets that I can kind of deal with. These giant slayers are going for a charge from the side. Let's see if my opponent reacts. Yeah, he does. The paladin has been getting shot by my two master engineers. He's already lost a lot of HP, but look at this. There are 10 model questing knights with the help of Rapans, and some other foot squares are joining in the fray. Pretty scary stuff for me. Now that these foot squares have moved away from my giant slayers, I'm trying to go for a rear charge because I'm gonna take a lot of damage on my giant slayers, and that's not gonna be a decent trade for me for sure. The engineers using their flash bomb here. My organ gun is still active, doing a lot of damage. 88 kills. Another fiery ring going down. Fortunately, the artillery piece already paying for itself. Trying to deal with these foot squares. That was a really nice trade for me. The giant slayers with their rear charge were able to deal with these foot squares. Now that they're this damaged, I'm not too afraid of them. The thunders are shooting. They're probably shooting foot squares or pawns. Paladin is really annoying. He's not leaving me to shoot, even though he's really damaged. He's just coming down and dealing with my one of my master engineers, so I have to turn around and shoot it down and free some of my units to deal with this many anti-infantry and armor piercing units. Rapans is also here. At this part I had no other choice. I had to meet these squares head on in the battle, and not much else I can do. These giant slayers trying to catch these other questing knights with 29 models, which is pretty scary, but we're doing our best. Let's slow down a bit again. As you guys are seeing here, I still have some infantry, but I have to be pretty careful to not leave these field trebuchet to get on top of their artilleries. And interestingly enough, yeah, as I said, my Dwarf Lord is being escorted by this 100 gold peasant mob, which is grudging for sure. That was really shameful from my general there. What else? Another flash bomb going down. Where is the engineer? Yeah, here. I use it here. Now I'm gonna turn around and try to shoot Rapans down, but my opponent is keep using his supportive spells. A lot of healing has been done, I think. I'm not sure if it was on Rapans. Yeah, 200 HP here. And giant slayers on the chase here. If we catch Rapans here, this is gonna be an easy battle. I mean, my opponent still has some foot squares here who are unfortunately idle. They should have already chased these giant slayers. They're not gonna catch them, but yeah, this guy standing still is not doing anyone any favor. Another option for my opponent is killing master engineers. That would be really great as well. I mean, the damsel's already causing a lot of problem for my one of my master engineers. The foot squares are also chasing. I don't have a lot of range units remaining, just these two. One of them has decent amount of models, decent amount of ammunition. I think I used restock already on both of my engineers and on my thunders. Battle Pilgrim's gone, but as I said, my opponent is using his healing really well. These guys are gonna get their healing, but fortunately we get our charge on these foot squares. They don't, which is pretty nice. And I think at this stage I've been able to successfully control my opponent here. Don't get me wrong, this is a really hard battle to win for Bretonnians, but the trebuchets help a lot. I mean, maybe some range units, another fire ring, doing decent amount of damage. That was the third cast, I think. And Rapunzel again getting controlled. The Giant Slayers chasing her, the Thunders shooting him, and I think Engineers are trying to shoot as well if they don't get obstructed, which they do. And I think that's it. Yeah, the Rapunzel is dead. My opponent still has some stuff, but look at this. I control the battlefield, and I don't think the Damsel of Life can do anything, and my opponent decided to give up. Let's see the end screen. Let's see our units hit. I mean, I lost my Dwarf Lord, and I wasn't able to get any value. I mean, 260 is nothing, but the Master Engineers carried though. I mean, they don't have the best damage value, but the controls were there, the rings, the shots, we were able to shut down my opponent's mobility. The miners did really well. This value is nice. The Dwarf Warriors, some of them did good, but most of them underperformed. The Great Weapon variant also had no chance against the foot squares who have anti-infantry and armor piercing. The Giant Slayers though, both of them paying for themselves, and then some. Pretty happy about that. The Thunders, two of them did really good. One of them was able to accrue double its cost, so happy about that. The organ gun also paying for itself. So yeah, I mean, in most cases you have to abuse the dwarf player. It's not fun to play like that, but yeah, they're infantry, and because of their limitation, not having mobility and large units, their already roster is pretty strong. My opponent, let's see, not the best value on Rapunzel. The caster healed a lot. The paladin also wasn't able to pay for himself any units doing good. The foot squares, this looks like some of them did good. Two of them did decently enough, but yeah, not the best value on any of these units. So yeah, even though the organ gun was not the best pick against my opponent, we were able to win. I mean, yeah, we did really well, but I'm not sure how my opponent could have played differently. Maybe another trebuchet would have done better. The paladin, I'm not sure if it was for the gyrocopters, but as I'm thinking right now, my opponent's army had a really glaring weakness, and if I had a gyrocopter spam, if I picked a lot of gyrocopters, he had no way of dealing with it, and I think that's one of the weaknesses of Bretonnia for sure. Spam the gyrocopters, shoot the knights down, and I don't think the low AP range units from the Bretonnia roster can deal with the gyrocopters. Maybe picking some flying units would do, some Pegasus, yeah, that would counteract that. So yeah, pretty nice battle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you guys consider leaving a like and subscribing. It would really help me and my channel grow. I have a Discord server if you guys want to chat about Total War, Warhammer stuff, and the Warhammer 3 game, or anything else. You can find the link in the description of this video. So yeah, guess that's it. Catch you all later. Bye.